before we start, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 1 and a half, if you could pull up on your email, I sent out the credit score handout that you'll follow along with before I get to that message. So we'll talk about credit score today. And make sure you have the branch pay program uploaded. So it's in the folder already. So the credit score I forgot to put in, I apologize. So credit score is on email, and the branch pay program is on the folder already.
You can like spend unlimited money on it. You could like go to like a Lamborghini and ship it by the whole lot.
Do you have it?
You do 5.
We'll do $5,000.
Yeah.
Platinum.
I would never do an annual fee if I'm not gonna make more money off the kickbacks than I would for the annual fee.
Exactly.
Or unless you actually need it, can you spend
30 seconds. Get yourself right, please. Get yourself right. Get the person next to you right. Get everything right. Mila, get them right. Don't break their back. Rachel, you okay? Let's roll. Tyler Condon, Despacito, get him going. Get everyone else. Stop eating cereal. Get everyone over there. It's cereal. It looks like you're eating cereal. It's Lucky Charms. Come on. Delgado, you guys good over there? Double D, I don't see you. We good? Double D, put the video on. David Delgado. No.
No, I'm saying I dropped $3,000 in the card in the first 2 months.
Okay. If everyone could please. I want to thank Mike again for his help with that message, outstanding message. One more time, Mr. Michael Brownitz, thank you. Okay. So, money. Remember, in the United team, we talk about money all the time. We're going to be comfortable with money. We're going to own our education of money. We're going to invest our money. We're going to save our money. We're going to be good with our money. We're also, and I want to make sure I say this. I want everyone to hear me right. We're also going to buy fun stuff with our money. We're going to go and have experiences with our money, but it's going to be in a way that was calculated, that's responsible. It's going to still allow us to hit long-term, mid-term, and short-term goals. Right? Because at the same time, there's no fun in saving a bunch of money. You don't do anything. You don't have any fun or experiences. So we're gonna have fun too and spend too, but in a very positive, calculated way, like smart business people. Because when we're done with you, you'll be smart business people. Do we have Fort Lauderdale on? I don't see him. I don't know. Luke, that's Double D. Oh, there he is. Is that Dumonceau? Is that Little Red Riding Hood? There it is. Okay. If you could please pull up the branch pay program. I'm not going to go through it in detail. So districts, hear me on this one. We normally cover the full branch pay program right now. I don't think there's any need to do that until December when we know who's on pace for branching. Okay. Friendly reminder: territories will be given out. Who can tell me the range? December 15th to January 15th. It's going to be based on 2 things. If you're funded and trained, you have enough startup, and you guys could pull out the document yourself. Yes, Rick, sorry.
Are we going to get what's available?
Next prep, I'm going to cover all that, yes. Okay. The next prep, and I'll cover the calendar in a second. The next actual prep is when? When's the next time we'll see each other? Oh, and that's going to be awesome. The next prep after that. I'm going to quickly turn to your calendars, please. Your beautiful planners that all of you are using. Turn to your monthly planner for December. Monthly planner to December, please. And also have the pay program pulled up when you get a chance. I'll put it up on the screen. No, sir. It says, oh, you know what? Maybe it didn't get sent out. I apologize.
Color. Green. It's green.
It's a mechanical pencil.
Is it that green pencil?
I apologize. Everyone, check your email again. I don't know why it's not.
I got it.
You guys got branch pay?
I didn't get right.
Yeah. Ready? Let me get everyone's attention. 2 emails. The first email was the credit score handout. The second email was the updated branch manager pay program. I'm gonna send that right now, and it just got sent. Okay. You can turn to your calendars. December. And districts, please help facilitate. In December. Okay. Our next prep is Olean. That's going to be weekend of the 11th, 12th, 13th. Right? That's also the end of the push that Monday. So if you're looking at November, keep in mind, there's a small handful of you that will be coming Friday the 10th, but everyone else will be flying in the 11th. Flights should have already been booked, or you'll get communicated with early next week because flights are now being in the process. If you have not signed up, okay, I need to have a conversation with you and discuss what's going on, and if we come to an agreement and see what happens. But if it's a class situation, we are 100%, not 90, not 99, we are 100% helping to get people out of anything school related. So don't tell me I have a professor that won't budge. What that means is smokescreen. I'm not willing to do the work to do it. Because we can get every professor to budge. I can get athletes out of sport. We've done it all every year. So keep that in mind. So stay on November with me, folks, please. You'll fly in Saturday the 11th. You'll fly in Saturday the 11th. Bro. Okay, that's our conference overnight into the 12th, which is our conference and prep. Fun day in Niagara Falls, Canada. You know, bottom of the matrix gets thrown over. That's on Sunday the 12th. Luke, we'll take our second annual picture by the falls, you and I. 13th, we're going back to the homeland, to Olean on Monday. We're going to the plant, and that's the end of the push. We'll have the push countdown in front of the executive team in Olean. And then we travel back early on Tuesday the 14th. Okay, so you're only missing 1 day of class. We have letters of excusal already in your first folder from the first prep. I'm a phone call away, or your district manager is a phone call away of getting help on how to get excused from anything. You should not get penalized for anything school related. If you do, it's your fault for not following what we're telling you to do. Okay, turn to December, please. Turn to December. This is the next. This is now. This is not in your syllabus because I changed it. Mila, bro. Right? So I'll stop calling you bro. It's just funny. December. It says to be announced in the syllabus you got the first prep. It is now set in stone. December 16th is going to be our next prep. Okay. The times will be announced. District managers, just plan on running training Thursday, Friday. Let's get a launch out. Okay. If you can.
Is that prep number 4?
That'll be number 5 technically after all. Okay. On the 15th, however, Friday, here's what's going to happen. We are going to divide after Olean by the 15th, A squad, B squad. Think of it as varsity, junior varsity. Okay. Varsity, A squad, you're on pace. And you're probably, unless you mess something up, going to get a territory between December 15th and January 15th. You're on pace and you're 80% of the way there. B squad is you're not on your way there, but you can still earn a spot. You're just not on pace for branching. You can change that, by the way, by January 15th. On the 15th of December, which is a Friday, I know some of you might have finals. I ask that you try and move it if you can. I understand. Prep is on Saturday. That's not negotiable. That Friday, if you have any issues with finals, reach out to me ahead of time. That Friday, we're going to have an A squad only. You have to be on pace with 1,000. I'll give you the number. Startup, letter of intent has to be in. I'm going to have a special drill for skill session all day, the pilot. We're going to have food because everyone's going to come casual. I'm going to get a whole lunch will be on your own, but I'll have I'll provide lunch. I'll provide 2 out of the 3 meals. And we're just going to spend all day drilling for skill, practicing our skill set, and getting good at all the most important key functions. And then you guys will stay the night. You guys will have figure out accommodations Friday night for the Saturday prep.
That's gonna be at the pilot.
It'll be at the pilot, Fort Lauderdale. Yep. So if you're just coming back from finals, and if you're not back, we'll work it out when we get closer to that event. Don't stress if you have anything final ready now. Wait till after holding to talk about it. Yes, ma'am.
That's December 16th.
That's December 15th, the Friday to come in for that, for A squad. The 16th Saturday is for everyone, regardless of A squad or B squad. So on Saturday, we'll have people who aren't on pace to be in a branch. They don't have a letter in, but they're still there for this session. This is what we're doing now. Friday is for the big boys and girls who are about to earn a spot. We're gonna get some really, really big. We're gonna get some big gains on that meeting. We're gonna do things that you don't have time to do, or no, you sometimes you need to do. Think of it as a group workout with Hefe. Yeah, we're gonna have fat gains. Yeah. There, we will also cover the branch pay program in super detail. Okay, a little bit in Olean as well. What I want to do now, I'm going to transition to money. If you pull up the branch pay program, I'll put it up here on the board. Okay, so you can follow along with me on the share screen, branch pay. Okay. I'll put it onto the sideboard. Feel free. A lot of you who are really analytical that like to go through some of these things on your own, or really into the financial part of it. Feel free to go ahead early. Here's what I'm going to cover with you are some of the basics of our financial plan. And districts, bless you. You'll like to hear this because I'm going to cover the differences in our pay program since a few years ago. Okay, here we go. So let me. Okay. Some of this, if this seems super, Jeff, yeah, don't assume because not everyone has the same age as you. Some of the stuff. So with a business, you have what's called revenue. Okay. Revenue. And revenue is defined as the total volume, okay, of money through the company. Created and generated by the company. So I want you to write that down. Revenue is total volume of money, monies, you call it. Total revenue is total volume of monies created by companies. So your revenue of your office is how much, what's the revenue? It's how much income is coming into your account based on what you're selling. That's your revenue. So let's just say, Luke, can you give an example? Do you remember your 1099? Roughly?
You say 55?
From Boca. Okay. So Luke's revenue, he earned $55,000 running the #2 branch in the nation in Boca Raton, selling just under 300 or just over. What was the number?
Could be
250. So doing $250,000 in sales yielded, based on his results, $55,000 in commissions that came in 4 months. But that's not that's not the profit. Okay, because you have to subtract. Who knows?
expenses.
Yeah. Expenses, another term that you might hear in finance or business, operating costs. Okay, so give me an example. First years, let's do first years. What are some operating costs that you have to spend money on? Rent. You have to have an office. Give me an operating cost. Furniture for the office, yeah. Now, ideally free. I'll show you later on in the summer, or later on in TLA, in Q3, how you get free furniture. We have offices that are fully furnished for free. It's called sponsorship. Supplies. Advertising. Yeah, what else?
That summer or
Any summer.
receptionist?
Receptionist, now no longer. by the way.
Hey.
How about technology, if you need a computer or something to that effect? So you subtract expenses, Luke. 30. Yeah, call it 30. Okay. Now keep in mind, for Luke was in the most expensive, top 2 most expensive branches that we have in Florida United. Not everyone's going to go to a territory like that. So it's situational. The higher the income, the more expense, but also it also is higher, the upside. Okay. But several of you will go to territories where the expenses are like you will pay 1/3 of what he paid monthly for rent. And you might not have a $300,000 summer, but you could sell less than 300 and make more than Luke did, right? So that's the balance. So roughly, what's that?
25.
So roughly, there's a 25K. What do you call that? That's profit. Okay. Light bulb, Bish. Raise your hand, and this would have been me my first TLA prep first year. Raise your hand if this is new to you. No? Okay, cool. So in this document, we're not going to review this right now, are all the ways you generate revenue in the company. What percentages do you make off of reps? What bonuses do you have? Later on, like for example, Andrew went branch and then went branch again, but he promoted 2 branches, Diego and Antoine. There's a bonus for that. It's called a twig. Get it? A branch from a branch. Okay. Go ahead, come on. Wait for that one. So revenue, what are some other ways, without even looking at the document, what are some other forms of revenue?
Jeff, you can't see the board because you're on screen share.
Better? Can you see me now? Okay. So revenue minus expenses equals profit. What are some other ways that you would say that you get paid revenue? How do you create income?
Talking about in terms of cook or
Yeah, if you're branch manager, first year
sales,
Yeah, so the rep sales, and then also
your own personal sales.
your personal sales. Because remember, you get a higher percentage. You get a 35% commission for the first half of the summer, and then starting July and August, straight 50. It's awesome. That's where the profit booms. So even if you screw up recruiting, and ready, 10% of you will absolutely screw up recruiting, and it's part of the business model. You're the business where you didn't get the team going, and so we put you to selling sooner so you can capitalize on flat 50. We have branches here that didn't even break $100,000 in sales, but their profit is between $4,000 and $12,000. Awesome. Okay. I'll use Delila as a great example. Delila's office total volume with personal sales. What was the final number roughly?
92K.
92,000. So that's not a record breaking. That's not a top 20. It's a solid branch. 100K in a profit. But because of personal sales, did you get your final P&L?
How much I made?
Did you get your final P&L call yet? No. Have you had a call with Rise and Stock? Did you guys go to the numbers yet?
Mm-hmm.
You know the final number? What was it?
How much I sold or how much I made?
Profit.
12K.
That's with receptionist, by the way.
Yeah, that's with receptionist.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you would have made 18 grand, almost 20 on the new model this year. Sorry. But think about this for a second. Just so 92K. When you hear 700,000 Silver Cup national record breaking, when you hear number 2 in the nation last year, 250 to almost 300. When you hear Andrew's first branch in Boca Raton, 132, 136.
Yeah, like
one something, one low one something.
136.
You don't think, well, it doesn't matter. The bottom line, what's the goal of branching is for experience and profit potential. And you're going to start a business from scratch and from zero, start a brand new business, Ms. Delila, not even out of college yet, and will have profited 12 grand. And now she's training again to do it a second time. Did you give me that letter already? Did you send me that letter? Yeah, you sent it, right? About to, that's what I thought. About to get a letter of intent. She's going to do it again. So now she's going to show companies, yeah, I made 12 grand from scratch. I trained another 8 months, 4 quarters of TLA, and now look what I did. It's called built. That's growing your business. That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience. So that's revenue. There's just multiple different bonuses when you launch people. That's all in the document. We won't go into full detail. They will cover it in a little bit. Okay?
I was just gonna add on, like, with the way the company has restructured the branch pay, it's like, here's the deal. If you go out, like, the point of like having 50% is awesome now, because it doesn't matter, even if you have the worst office in the history, like, you should still make a lot of money during the summer if you went out and branched. Like, if you don't make at least 10 grand and you branch this summer, like, you didn't try. You know what I mean? Like, your office could fall flat on its face and you should still make a lot of money, because you should be able to
unless
sell.
we forget, this is again more Nolian, and you've known this, the company's going to give you $9,000.
What?
Right? 6,000 plus what would have been.
2,500.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So between $6,000 and $9,000, you're going to get contributed. That should take care of most, not every, but in some offices, that'll take care of all of your expenses. So all you have to do is just go. But the average person in United will also have 3 to 5 grand of their own. And the average person in United will have full sponsorship from a family member, a friend, or colleague, and they're going to cover your room and board. So it's easier to make profit more than ever. So I think Andrew and I had this conversation. We used to say, you don't branch for the money. Now you can. I'm serious. Where you say you branch, if you want money, you should not branch. You should sell, because that's the way you make money. You want experience for sure. Now you can get both big time. Big time. I'm confident we're gonna have a high average of super profit, and by super profit I mean you're gonna make 10 grand getting this 10 grand plus making this great business experience. If you screw up, you'll make 5 to 10. That's what I'm really excited about. So we have a P&L is called a P&L is a profit and loss. It's the statement, professionally crafted statement that shows all the numbers here instead of guessing. Instead of well, let me write down on a napkin what my phone bills were and add it up. This is a professionally generated. Scott and the division manager team, we submitted 18 different P&Ls from Rising Stock Corporation Inc., which is the company that provides our P&L statements. We provided 18 P&Ls, and check this out. The range of CPO was from $41,000 in total office and sales. So this branch, with their personal sales and their whole office, sold 41 grand. Will Lovelace outsold this office. Will Lovelace alone sold this. Okay, and the highest range was 222. We took out Andrew on purpose. That's just that's an outlier. It's not normal. Otherwise, I don't know any other offices that did over 400. There's one. It was Andrew, 7 plus. Okay. Okay. So, watch this. With the PR callers, meaning receptionists. So. You are an extinct breed, young lady. Rachel Eshett, you were the last summer of Cutco receptionist. 2 years from now, people go, huh? What's that? And Rachel will say, as a branch, a second-time branch or district manager, yeah, I used to take calls. What do you mean? Well, where people used to call. You mean like on the phone? Yeah, for the job. Like to apply? It's going to be that foreign in a couple of years. With that expense, okay? Anyone want to guess how many of the 18 were profitable? Even with 41K?
18.
Close. Almost every one of these was profitable. I mean, they made money. They were in the red, the black, not the red. Okay? Okay. And of the 17, 14 profited, you'll appreciate these numbers, between 4 and 24,000. So this guy right here, or girl, I don't even know, we don't know who it is, made 24,000, and someone a little bit over 41 made 4 grand. Cool? I mean, I think that's tremendous. Now here's the cool thing. If we take out the PR expenses, okay, take out the PR expenses, now that becomes, this is silly, conservatively, another 3 to 4 grand on top of it. So you would have been 15 to 16 grand. Right? And I know no one's writing home about a 50K branch, and no one's saying, oh, 222. The United bar is set very high right now. But I'm telling you, there are going to be a lot of you that do 100, that do 80, that do 150, that do 2, 3, 4. Maybe try to match that number if you're second or third year. Some of you might do 60 or 70, and you'll still be profiting big time. Don't forget about the value, the lessons, the resume experience, and what you will take into round 2 of training. I'll stop there. Any questions, comments, specifically next level? First year, have any comments or questions?
So in the first half, you said you get 35%. What if your personal sales, you're already above that?
You'll get whatever your highest
okay.
one is. And then flat 50.
But you gotta keep in mind, you gotta get bonus for that. Like you get this if you're at 40%, you get the extra 5%. You have to sell. I think it's like 6 grand.
Let me
Work for the month, but if you're at flat 50, you can sell a grand and you still make 100.
Sorry, let's say Velocity's at 35%. Right now, he'll sell and earn 30% every week. At the end of the month, he's got to sell 4 grand to make that extra 5%. On our 35% is flat 35, and then it's also flat 50 straight up, which is really nice to live. How are those paychecks? In August? Just in time for school semester. How ironic.
So when you sell 10 Gs for SC2, you get 5 grand.
Your paycheck, you're 5 grand in 2 weeks, straight up. Cool. So I'm not going to go through the full pay program, but let me show you how it looks so you can navigate. Okay. Raise your hand if you're the type that would go through the pay program a little bit on your own. Okay. Let me show you how to navigate through it, and then I want to cover a credit score, and then I'll turn things over to Miss Karina in just a second. Share screen, or you can pull it up on your own if you'd like. Where are we? Okay. So page 1, we call this in business a cover. Flo, is this thing on? It's a joke, Flo. Okay, so maybe the best way to do this is either type it on the document or in your notes what each page means when you go through it. We'll go in more detail in Olean and even more detail in December. And then we'll also start to do things like, okay, how do you get the highest profit number? What are some ways to save money as you run your business? Let me give you a super quick example. Turning your air off or up, the difference between the two when you leave your office. You can save hundreds, close to thousands of dollars by turning the air up before you leave, not turning it off and back on in the morning, because it takes more power, aka money, to restart in the morning. Some people don't know that. I learned that the hard way as a branch. $600 monthly electric bill for my small tiny office that the normal bill's $120 a month. I got a $700 July bill. Nice job, Jeff. I like it cold. Okay, so first is the cover page. Page 2. Okay. These are all the different ways that you generate revenue. And I'm not going to read through it, but just the titles. What you make off of the reps, that's commission overrides. What the company gives you, it's $8,500, not $9,000. Personal commissions. Okay. When you have a returning branch, if you raise your hand if you've already branched before. Okay, you're going to get another $1,500 on top. Summer advance, we're going to give you money up front in case you need it to pay bills ahead of time, and you pay it back on a 0% loan. No interest loan. Then you go through all the expenses. We'll cover this in Olean. See at the bottom, it says anywhere between $15,000 to $19,000 in expenses. You don't pay these expenses up front ahead of time. This is what happens over the summer, how much it ends up becoming. And you'll cover it pretty quickly. Okay? There's only one major expense that needs to be covered up front. Who can tell me what the major, if you run an office, what's the major expense, biggest one up front? Office rent. Security deposit, the first month's rent. Okay? And then a bunch of pay models. Okay? This is a branch that sold 30 in their office, 15 personal. They made 6 to 8 all the way up to a model of 200. And here's what I'll say. If you break 200, you're nationally competitive. You're nationally competitive. You're finishing close in the top 20. And if you're breaking to be in the top 10, top 5, you're in the 3, 4, 5 plus, depending on the year. You know, you don't have to be breaking all 10 national records here. Oh, it doesn't hurt.
Quick question. If you have a twig, so like for your kids' branches, you make a 1% override. Let's say your office does like 100, just make flat, like a 1% override.
Sweet. So when Amanda goes branch, you're getting a % off of that for being her original manager. So thanks, Amanda.
Is that if they branch for next year, or does it?
It's consistent.
I have a rep from Vera.
I'm sure we can get you credit for something. Yeah, I don't know the exact answer, but let's find out. Put on your Jeff list, please. Okay. Any questions? Good. Do me a favor, turn to the credit score document. You can type on it. It's a Word document. Rachel, here you go. Merry Christmas. You're welcome. Okay. Let's talk credit score for a second. If we'll do scale of 1 to 5. 5 is I'm a master of it. 1, I have no clue. How many of you are 3 or less on what credit score is and how you affect it? And that makes you normal. Makes you normal college students. How many of you feel like you're a 4 or above? Nice. Okay. How many feel like you're a 4 or above or through Cutco?
What do you mean?
Meaning Cutco taught you that. How many of you are 4 above because your parents really ingrained credit score? Yeah, not many. Now, I would say even if you have a good financial background or your family's good with money, credit score sometimes gets skipped over. Okay? So credit score, you guys can type right into this. What is credit score? And you can take what you need from it. Let's talk about it. If you ever wonder why you can go online and approve for credit within 60 seconds, you ever seen that apply now or see what happens? It's based on credit score. Or you get pre-qualified for a car, or you get letters in the mail for, hey, you've been pre-approved for a credit card that has a $10,000 limit. All that has to do when you go to get an apartment, When I went to get my Brickell condo downtown Miami, I had to show my credit score, and if it wasn't over a certain number, I couldn't even apply. Right? All these things, buying a car and the rate that you'll get for your car, a home mortgage, all has to do with credit score. So what is credit score? And you can write this down. It's a mathematical algorithm. It's a formula. It's a mathematical formula based on your credit report. And what they do with what companies do is they take that and compare it to millions of other people's credit reports, and it results in a number. And the number dictates the following. This is really cool. The number of your credit score dictates how accurately and how likely you are to pay your bills. That's all it means. So if I see a high credit score, oh, this is Delilah 790, that means she's a good person to lend money or approve because she will pay through. I will give her this car loan. I will give her this bank loan, this mortgage loan. It sounds strange. It sounds not important. It is one of the most important things I can tell you for your life. Okay. Let me give you a list of things to write down. What it impacts. What is credit score? Ready? Mortgage for when you buy a house. Car loan. Auto insurance rates. Ready? Nowadays, really scary. Your job. Some companies, if you don't have a high, especially in finances, if you're in finance, you have to have a high credit score because they're not going to have you manage people's money when you have a bad credit score. Okay. Ready? In general, right? Last one is interest rates in general. Interest rates is how much you have to pay back for borrowing the money. The better your credit score, the lower the rate. You know, for example, when Heidi and I do our combined credit score, it's great because she's getting these low interest rates, which we don't have to pay off right away because they're under 5%. Okay, and that's later on, but under 5% is considered a low interest rate. Or maybe you write this down. Under 5%, that's low interest. 5 to 10, you want to start chipping away at that, and 10% plus, you better just pay that off faster than you can say pay it off because it's you get crushed. Oh, but my credit card's 3% interest. Okay, what about after the first year? 19%. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. Okay. Next section. What's the big deal? Let's go to the next section. What's the big deal? Credit score will determine if you get credit at all and the interest rate. Okay. So, for example, there's a way different interest rate offered to someone who has a 520 versus a 720. So how about this? In interest rates, this is according to a specific website here. If you have a 520 credit score or a 720 credit score, it's 200 points. The difference is 3.45 percentage points in your mortgage. A lot of money. When you're talking about a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $700,000 home, do the math. So take 3% off of $400,000. What's that?
14.
$12,000 to $14,000 difference that you saved by having a better credit score. Okay. Okay. Take a look at the scoring categories. You take a look. It's pretty self-explanatory. 800 and above is absolutely excellent. Now, I would call that impeccable credit score. 749 to 799, really good credit. 700 to 749, good credit. 650 to 699, I would say below average, and it just gets worse from there. Okay. Then there's also such thing as no credit, which is most of you. Most of you don't have bad credit. You just don't have bad credit. Means you didn't pay off bills, you screwed up a couple things. You're a bad person to lend money to. You just don't have any credit because it's mostly your parents who have been doing things. So 5 factors of credit score. You ready? 5 factors, and this is the big lesson for you guys. Number 1. How you pay your bills, that's 35% of your score. Is that on your handout? Does that say that on the handout?
Yes.
Okay, so let me give you a couple thoughts. Let me define this. The most important factor of your credit score is how you paid your bills in the past. And they pay most attention to recent activity. Okay? Paying all your bills on time is good. Paying them late or on a consistent basis is bad. Having accounts that were sent to collections is worse, and declaring bankruptcy is the worst, absolute worst. When you declare bankruptcy, it means you just there's no way you can recover and you essentially have to say, I can't pay you back, and you file for bankruptcy with a lawyer, and that means that will show for, I think, 6 years on your credit. That's the worst. So bankruptcy is the worst. Going to a collector's is a little bit better than that. Paying late consistently and paying your bills on time is the best. Yes?
How long until somebody goes into the bankruptcy?
Depends on the... Go ahead.
Yeah, so it depends on the firm that you're working with. So the way that it works is like, let's say I just pay my AT&T bill. They try to get it from me for like a while, keep sending bills every month, but eventually, and what the company does is they'll sell, let's say I owe them $100. They will sell the debt to another like agency, like a debt collector. So what they'll do is like they'll sell it to them for like like $75. So let's just say they sell it to them for $50. So like they don't think they're going to ever get it back. So they sell them the debt for $50, and then that agency, it's now like you now owe them $100. So now like the agency's job to go ahead and try to collect the money.
Yeah, because if they get 100, they're making 50 on the deal.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what they collected. They have like tactics to collect it. So
Yeah, and what they'll also say is, you know what?
and they give you hard credit checks once your money's. Sometimes you can be a collection and nothing will ever pop in your credit, so you don't do a hard credit check. But some companies can do it.
Yeah. So let me give you an idea, because I've dealt with all types of students. Let's say AT&T over here, Andrew AT&T sells me his $100 debt from Sean Powell. I buy it for 50. How much am I trying to get? 100, because I know you think you owe 100 from him.
100 plus all of it.
Yeah. But what they'll do sometimes is say, you know what, Sean, tell you what, to help you with your credit, which is the tactic, to help you, if you pay us $75 right now, you pay that now, you don't owe the rest. Well, it doesn't matter to AT&T. The 100's not really owed anymore. They're just trying to make a profit and get something, and it still doesn't even affect your credit. Not all the time. Sometimes it does. And some of you already have bad credit scores because you have collectors calling you. There's ways to fix that. That's another message. Okay. Number 2, take a look. We'll go quickly. Number 2, 30% is the amount of money you owe / the amount of available credit. So a little bit, and just as important, but a little less important. How much money do you owe to? I'll use a credit card. If I have a 10 grand spending power, we learned this from last prep. If we have 10 grand in credit spending power, what's a credit card used for in the Florida United Division? For one thing and one thing only. What's a credit card used for? Points, and Jose, you said rewards. Points and rewards. You're only, and building credit. You're only using credit cards to pay something you already now have the money to pay, not so I can pay it later because I don't have it. That's America debt. Florida United is, oh, I'm swiping this American Express or this my favorite Bank of America rewards card, because if I have $5,000 I'm going to spend anyway on blank, when I swipe the Bank of America, Heidi and I get free flights. So might as well get the free flights instead of just spending $5 grand on that new air conditioned unit. Got it? Let's say I have $10,000 on the limit of my card. That's my amount of available credit. How much you owe is going to be 0 for this team. But if some people carry a balance, let's say my credit card could swipe 10 grand, I owe 6 that I haven't paid back yet. Number 1, I'm getting charged interest. That's also affecting my credit score. One of the best things you can do is just do what we're teaching you, is you always pay off your credit card every month, and you have a money that you owe nothing to, but you have all this available credit. You are an outstanding lender. That's Heidi. Okay. Questions, comments on that one? Okay. Ready? Carrying a lot of debt doesn't necessarily mean you'll have a lower score. Okay. Carrying a lot of debt doesn't mean you'll have a lower score. It's ratio of spending power and what you owe. Next thing under that is it doesn't hurt as much as carrying close to the maximum. That hurts a lot. When you're always close, like I have a $9,000 credit card bill and I can use 10 grand, means you're always close to the max. Okay. People who consistently max out their balances are perceived as risky clients. Okay. And people who never use their credit card don't have a track history. So it's really good to use credit cards and pay them off every month. Okay. Here's what I'll say, and this is the note I'd like you to put. People with the highest credit scores use credit cards sparingly and keep their balances low. Florida United, little asterisks, have no balance. No balance. Yes, sir.
Say you have like a credit card and you don't use it often, but you have like a good credit score. Will it like hurt your credit score if you don't use it that much?
Yes.
Actually, ready? Yes and no, because it depends on how many credit cards like that you have,
Say like you had one and you had good credit,
and you
and
have
then
zero
you
balance.
stop using it. Like you were using it and you just like kind of stopped using it.
Is it zero balance? Do
Yeah.
you have owe money on it?
No.
It's kind of in between. It's not bad, but it's not going to jump your. It's better to be that. Sometimes some credit cards you might want to close down, but if you only have one, keep it.
It actually negatively affects your credit card if you ever close one. So you don't want to, unless you're paying a yearly fee, which probably no one in the room should be doing. You don't really want to ever cancel credit cards because they lowers your credit.
In general, yes, we'll keep that. Yes, I just had to do this with Heidi, this whole thing with her. She has,
It's really complicated. Like,
she's got student loans. There's a whole.
Half the things are kind of like they could, like versus like you want to carry, like it's like there's a certain range of your balance where like you think you want to be spending money, but you don't want to spend too much money or too much percentage on it.
That's why I like. That's why I like Vector people to keep it simple. If you have a credit card that you use to only swipe when you have the money, you're always getting points. You're always jumping your credit score. Not to get into the
off
company.
like within a couple of days. Then
Yep.
So then should like it would benefit us to have credit cards
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
So if you went out to the bar, if you went out to the bar, you got to Mad Social tonight, and you buy a round for 30. You're paying for drinks for $30. You're usually using the debit card. That's where you put your money. I would use a credit card and make sure it's paid off tomorrow. Or worst case, like when you get disciplined, you pay everything off at the end of the month. But you should have zero from month to month. Should be zero. Okay, undisciplined, you pay it off every day or every week. Disciplined, you pay it off when it's due every month. Yes, sir.
How long would you consider for it to be like too much time for you to wait to pay it off?
Month to month. Just pay because it's due every month.
But yeah, it's due at the end of the month.
It's due at the end. If it goes over a month, it's late. You get a late fee.
You should never accrue interest on your credit card.
I only say do it. Like Luke said, paid off the next day because you forget. College students, but when you get older, you're not really paying your credit card bills off every day, every week. Good.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is my recommendation for anyone, especially if you're branching now, is if you haven't really ever done anything credit, unless your parents have helped you out and built credit in your name, you probably have a terrible credit, so like you will get not denied from like 99% of credit card applications. So you have to get one that's like almost like I would get one right now, like yesterday, like a student card or something like that. Like something very, very easy to get that anyone can get. Doesn't need to have some crazy.
Yeah,
rewards.
let me give you an easy direction. Go to your bank and ask for their student credit card.
Yeah.
That's it.
Once you have that, and I would use that up until from now until the summer to build your credit up a little bit, and then right before the summer starts, you know you're going to spend a lot of money in a short period of time.
Get a rewards card.
Business expenses. So that's when now that your credit's a little bit higher, you apply for like a slightly better rewards card, and then you use that for the summer for all your branch expenses and put it all in that.
Okay, we'll go Josie and then Kirsten.
What about getting your department store credit card?
Yeah, she's asking department store credit card. That is one of the biggest traps ever in general, because
Oh my gosh.
they get you because if you get it today, you get $500 off or 20% off. So do you want to get the card?
Yeah,
What's that?
Nordstrom moves. You get points when you spend it or when you use the card.
Right. What you don't know, and you probably don't know. Do you know the interest rate on that card? Yeah, the interest rate on the card's the interest rate probably is even zero to start. It's called an APR. So zero APR. Yeah, it's only zero APR. And then after month 6, it goes to 15, 19, 23. I've seen. You know those cards they get you to sign up on campus? Have you seen that? They get you to sign up for credit cards. Those are it's 0% interest and 6 months jumps to 23%.
But if I did have a Nordstrom card, would I cancel it? Is that hurt?
I wouldn't cancel. I would just pay it all off. Make sure there's zero balance.
Yeah.
Okay.
To that point too, the interest rate doesn't matter as much as long as you pay out for your credit card out every month.
Yeah.
I've never paid interest on any credit card I ever used.
Yeah, because there's no balance. So some of you have carried balances and you're zero balance. And if you have balance now that you can't quite pay off now, that's a different conversation. It's called eliminating your. That's a different combo. And we can talk about that at another point too. Cool. Last one.
What if she paid it off and then closed it?
I just wouldn't close it because it hurts your credit to close it. So good question. Last one here. New credit applications. If you keep trying to apply and get denied, that also hurts your credit. That's why when you're buying a car, be careful because some of these lenders will run your credit and it's ruining your credit. Well, not ruining, it's lowering your credit score because BMW and then Mercedes or Audi or, you know, Camry, doesn't matter. They're all running your credit scores. Okay. So that's a whole nother TLA, how to buy a car. It's another whole lesson. Okay. Last thing, credit scores are not perfect. Credit scores are not perfect. The major drawback to credit scoring is that it relies on information in your credit report, which is quite likely to contain errors. That's why it's really important annually to go and check your credit score. Okay, and this is my final thought. There are different ways to check credit. There's a free credit report, there's Credit Karma. Let me do my final research before I give you a confident answer. Some of those you don't want to do. Some of them are better than others. Okay, because some pull a hard credit check, which is going to show up on as an official credit check on your credit score. Some do a soft credit check. The complicated, you don't need to know version of credit score is that there are 3 companies that track your credit. Experian, Trans Credit Union, and I forget the third one. There's 3 that track your credit, and a combination of those scores creates your up to 800, 900, or 800 plus credit score. Okay, so Credit Karma, freecreditscore.com. You've seen those commercials. Be careful not to sign up. Let me do research and tell you the one I'm most confident for you checking. And then I think once a year you should check it. Once a year, sometimes twice a year. Yeah, check your credit score. Okay, and so you know, because you might have a ding on your credit. I was talking to Beth Shishmanian. She had a ding on her credit, and they pulled a report, and she was trying to buy something, and they said, "Oh, we can't approve you." She goes, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Oh, you didn't have this one bill." And it was a bill from when she used to live with someone. They shared the electric bill, and it wasn't paid. It was in her name. She didn't remember. She had no idea. So a lot of times credit reports are wrong. That's why it's good to check it once a year, and then you can call and have that fixed.
So if I'm, and this is kind of a side comment, but if I'm paying the utilities for my apartment and like they pay me and I pay for it, is that helping my credit?
Is it in your name?
Yeah.
80% of the time, no. Doesn't help at all. There's a way you can enroll it.
Is
It's
that
pretty
pretty?
confusing to make it count, but no, usually apartment doesn't, unless you're paying it with credit.
Yeah.
Usually,
But it will hurt your credit if you're not paying the bill.
Right.
Now, if you had a mortgage, then different. But
Yeah.
renting, usually.
So as far does that help you? No. Can it hurt you if you don't pay? Yes.
Right.
So just make sure your roommates. And that's why you got to be also really careful what you put in your name. Cool. I'll stop there. I want you to get 30 seconds to process. Write down your biggest takeaways from this. Introduction to credit score. Luke's biggest takeaways to pay his credit card right now.
So, yes.
Okay. Let's get some feedback in the pilot or in Clearwater. Biggest takeaways. We'll share. Anyone in pilot? Any takeaways or Clearwater? Abby.
Just when if you have the choice to use a debit card or a credit card, then use the credit.
That's right. Remember, just always remember this and make this a nightmarish voice in your head. Credit is for points, not to carry a balance. I'll say it in more college terms. It's for points, not to pay later. Not to pay something you don't have right now. That's not what credit cards are for us, for smart business people. Okay, Clearwater or pilot?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Michael. Handsome.
All right, so we have Amanda and then Trey.
Go for it.
One of my biggest takeaways was definitely get started on getting your students card so I can go have fun.
Yeah, and this is a cool story, and I don't know the exact number, Andrew. I don't know sharing anything personal, but Andrew's been doing this since he started. He got a student card to start, and then before he ran his next office, he got a rewards card, and then he got approved for a better rewards card later. Never swiped unless he had the money, and now he's probably getting approved for, let me put it this way. When I was a 22-year-old district manager, I was getting approved for $50,000 credit cards plus. You're probably getting the same. 20 to 50 grand limits. Sometimes you're probably not too far from an Amex or Amex period at some point. Yeah, okay. So, there you go. And some of you're lucky because your parents are putting you on theirs. So don't mess their credit up. Other takeaways, how about here?
We have one more from Trey.
Sorry, go ahead, Trey, and then we'll go here. Tally. Trey.
So never maxing out your balance and pretty much like this step and for the points.
Yeah, and ready? I do recognize some of you are thinking, oh gosh, I have a balance. I'm carrying a balance. I understand that. I know what we're getting here with you guys. Here's my rule of thumb. Under 5%, it's okay to carry the balance for now. But you don't really have things like that. I do. It's called Heidi's student loan. So under 5%, it's low. I'm inheriting like $500,000 in debt. I love it. But it's low. We'll pay it off. We'll pay it off for really fast. Awesome. 5 to 10%, you want to start chipping at it. And then over 10%, you want to pay that full thing off. So that's the priority bill you want to get rid of. It's high interest debt, 10% plus. Some of you have covered this with. And if you feel like you want to get a call because you're struggling or you want to know how to chip at that debt, just reach out. I'm a call away in the next 2 to 3 weeks, depending on my travel schedule. No problem. Okay, how about here in Tally? Big takeaways. Raise your hand if this was a lot of new info you didn't know and it's helping you. Good. Kira, what's a big takeaway from you?
I should have looked into more of this before I signed up for things like.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, but ready? It means that these sales tactics work.
Yeah.
That's what it means. Sales is sales, right, Mike? Sales is sales. One more light bulb. I'm going to take a quick break because I have to switch the video to Karina. A second. How about final thoughts from our seniors, from district managers who have heard this before, who are applying this? I would put Luke and Andrew in this category. Any either final tips or your takeaways that you want to make sure people get? So this is Mike, Karina, Luke, Andrew.
So something I told my kids here are the student cards are also a secured card is something else that you can look into if you for some reason can't get into a student card. But I also will say start early, start now, just because the way the market is at this point in time, it's going to constantly waver. And the best time to get started on this is now. I would put it on your to-do list. Just do it as soon as possible.
Yeah, just go to the bank. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Chase. Those are the 3 different banks.
And those are the big ones. I would also look at credit unions as well. Sometimes they'll see if they give you the perks. But just a thought.
Yeah, good. We have Luke over here.
Also, just because of the nature of our business, it can be really easy to run out of money a little bit close towards the summer when you guys aren't selling as actively. And it can be tempting to throw a lot of money in the credit card. I'll pay it off in the summer. But you have to make sure to be really disciplined about that and not do that.
Yeah, just don't swipe unless you have the money. Just make that your rule. Think of your credit card as access to your debit account. Even though it's not, think of it the same way. And on that note, it is now 6:17. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to process for the next 10 minutes because I need to switch the YouTube accounts. And David, when I stop my YouTube in a second, you'll put the new one up. I'd like you to take the next 10 minutes and go through your notes. And I'd like you to write down 1 or 2 action steps from each talk. So from the opening comments, look through your notes. What were your takeaways? What are 1 or 2 action steps? Mike Abramowitz's talk. Next level, first year, what are 1 or 2 action steps of what you have to learn, go through, and then this financial talk. What are 1 or 2 action steps? Take the next 10. This is not a break. This is a debrief for yourself. Okay? So it's now 6:18. I'm going to stop the broadcast. Senor Delgado. Part 4 on you.